Numbers are out. The net profit is what we can see so far, 1,306 crore rupees. Our poll had projected 1,245.3 crore rupees. In a very short notice, we have both Lata and Abhishek with us. Lata, can you do you have the other details of the numbers?
No, we don't. Actually, we are also staring at the flashes screen and are waiting for the screens to open in front of us. Both the NII and the profit number are largely in line with expectations. Profit is a bit better, but as always, you know, the number we have to look out for should be the gross NPL number. The slippages number is more important, but we won't get that now. We'll get it only in the... Okay, the total amount of gross NPLs is 5.03%. So that's as good or as bad as the previous quarter, which was 5.04. And in terms of aggregate, it's gone up from 21,280 to 22,030 crores. So it's hardly any. The GNPL number seems to have been contained very well. So at first look, this seems to be a very good number. The profit is slightly better than Abhishek's poll threw up by about 50 crores or thereabouts. So it's a slightly better number, but which means, I mean, he was expecting the profits to fall by about 19%, if I'm not mistaken. They've fallen by about 16%. So that's not you know, it's not a huge out-of-line number, but it's slightly positive. It's the GNPA number which I'm really happy about as of now. We will have to, of course, wait for the slippages. Abhishek?
Loan growth is at 12%, which is primarily driven by, you know, the retail loan growth. Retail loan growth has come in at 22%, and the net interest margin for the quarter is at 3.63%. So this compares to 3.83% in the previous quarter. So overall, there is a 20 basis point decline in net interest margin. So I'm still working out on further details.
Actually, there are quite a few things which should have pushed it up, because the CASA deposits are now almost 50%, 49% of the total. As you point out, it's not a bad advances figure either. It's a 12% growth in advances, which is year on year. And as Abhishek pointed out, 22% only for retail. So if you compare that with what they did last time, in terms of advances, they had grown by 10.1%. Now, these are year-on-year numbers, so the base always works. But to be fair, it looks like growth is better than it was in the last quarter. The NPA number is not at all a shocker. If anything, the gross NPA has been contained, looks like peaking off at that old 5.2. But, you know, all these are subject to what we finally get. That's the net NPA number coming.
The watch list?
Oh, there comes the slippages. Very good number, if that is the number.
That is the net slippages. The reading is the net slippages. Gross slippage is at 3,519 crores versus 4,811 crores.
That's okay. I mean, even
the
that
watch
is
list,
below 4,000.
Yeah, the total watch list has reduced to 9,485 crores. That compares to 11,232 crores. So that's a decline over there.
No, 1 minute, Abhishek. If compared to 11,200, it is 9,500 less.
Yeah, so
then
that
the
is
watch list slip is about 2,000 crores, a little less than 2,000 crores. The remaining of the slippages are the non-watch list slippages, which would be again around 1,500 crore. I would think neither of them is a very shocking number. So the gross NPA number is not a shocker. The net slippages is not a shocker. The gross slippages is not a shocker. I think the street should be pleased with these numbers from what we can get at this point in time.
The total slippage is at 3,519 crores. Now, I'm just calculating, and I don't know whether this number is correct or not, but 3,519 crore, you remove the movement in the watch list, that is about 1747, that is 1,747 crore. You get a residual value of 1,772 crore of slippages. So that is the non-watch list slippages, and that compares to 1,245 crores. So there is an increase of about 500 or 520 odd crores in terms of non-watch list slippages. If at all, I go by the data that is given, but I exactly don't know the true value of slippage from watch list. But just looking at the numbers per se, If I calculate, the non-watch list slippage is at 1,772 crores. Now that compares to 1,245 crore in the quarter gone by. However, slippage from watch list, which was close to 3,511 crore, has now come down to 1,747 crore, looking at the decline in watch list.
Okay, let's bring
No,
in
I
our
take your
guest as
point completely. I think the watch list decline is not worrying, but maybe you could squabble a bit about the non-watch list decline. It is sizably higher than it was in Q4, lower than it was in Q3, but higher than it was in Q4. So that may be a bit of a worry, but it's quite possible that the bank, when it speaks in the analysts' meet, will give us a new watch list. Perhaps things are changing. So we'll have to wait for all those details. I think the only squabbling point will be the non-watch list slippage, which looks like it's about 1,700 crore. Otherwise, the overall slippage is not a problem. And what slipped from the watch list is also extremely in line with what it has been doing, or even lower. We've got